When thinking of the best way to support our students in writing, there are many different avenues that teachers can take. One of the things that we can think about is how routines are a special way to support students across all content areas. Language production is the way that students can show what they're thinking and what they know and what they've mastered. Teachers have many different options when it comes to helping and supporting students in how to write. Specifically with ESL students, it's important to note how having a language routine may help facilitate their production of language. In the education world, there are many different options we can take. Some teachers may like to use something like RACE, ACE, APE, or many different other options. In this video, we're going to look at APE or APE as one of the avenues that teachers can use to help support their students in language production, specifically looking at ESL students. In the video, we're going to look at a classroom that has students at a beginner to intermediate level of English, and we'll be looking at how writing production can happen across all content areas, specifically in the Algebra 1 classroom. In the first video, we're going to see some modeling where teachers are discussing how to create the APE or how to create that piece of writing with specific pieces that we need students to incorporate. Like many of the different options that were mentioned previously, APE starts with having students answer the question by restating the question and providing an original response or a clear and concise answer. Next, students are asked to provide evidence. This may be from a text, it may be from a graph or a chart, so students are shown how they can pull evidence or describe what's happening in order to give some proof. And finally, students must explain how their evidence supports their answer. This means students will add a sentence that has the word because. This will help support them in giving a clear response to the connection between their answer and their evidence. When preparing to present these kinds of assignments to students, teachers take the time to work together in formulating an exemplar. In this exemplar, we use our anchor charts that show how we're going to write our answer, what we expect to see in the proof, and how we want to see the explanation written in the final response. So in the first piece of the video today, we're going to look at how we use different tools such as writing as a group and also using different online tools that can support in generating exemplars. In the exemplar, we see how the answer is discussed and the explanation, but we see that there is some improvement that can be made when it comes to connecting the ideas. So there's a discussion between teachers on how to do that. We'll notice how people are joining in the conversation and using their resources as well, come to a consensus on the final product. In the clip that follows the modeling, we will see how a teacher rehearses the process that she would take in presenting an APE for her students. And then finally, we will see a clip from the presentation in the classroom setting. So by the end of this, we will hopefully see how the writing process can be done across contents, even in a math classroom, to support ESL students and all students.
So my exemplar says, the solution to the equation 3x plus 5 equals 20 is x equals 5. To solve the equation, first, I subtract 5 from both sides. 3x plus 5 minus 5 equals 20 minus 5, which simplifies to 3x equals 15. Next, I divide both sides by 3, and then it shows what it does, resulting in x equals 5. How do we feel about that exemplar? So when we're asking students to write APE, would that be sufficient? So there's an answer. The solution of the equation is x equals 5, and then it gives us a step-by-step, right? To solve the equation, first, next, finally, or resulting in. So we use that sequencing language that we use a lot in class, right? So we follow that piece. What are we missing? So what could we add for students? what reasoning could they add if we wanted to? Or would this be sufficient in your APEs? So thinking back to whenever Ms. Robledo modeled for us the other day, and when we've done other examples, she had her answer, right? How to solve that solution. She did the step by step, and then what did you mention at the end, Ms. Robledo?
Well, that was our explain, right?
That's our explain.
Or what was your proof?
It's
A multi-step equation.
It's a two-step equation.
It's a two-step equation. So what could we add to this one to help add that piece that we practiced in class?
I was thinking, because we're about to do APE in our lesson, I was thinking that for us, like my understanding was explained was supposed to be a part where you'll prove if your answer is correct or not. So I was thinking maybe the explanation of step-by-step process will go on the proof, and then the explain will be the checking part. Or if let's say for our lesson, next lesson exemplar, they're gonna turn a factored form into general form. So the question is, what is the equivalent of x plus 3 multiplied by x plus 2 multiplied by x plus 1? So the proof part will be first I multiply x plus 3, x plus 2, and then the explain will be I verify that my answer is correct because when I graph the two equations, it will show the same graph.
Yes, you could add that.
Or in this situation, if their answer is 5, they can say that
I verified because I plugged it back into X.
X and then 15 equals 15 or something like that.
So I could add this.
I put.
Can you add? Yes, Ms. Castillo?
I put use answer proof explain form, and it shows some stuff. And then for the question, it improved it better. The answer is this and this and that.
We put it like in
The explanation.
form, answer in an APA form.
So we're gonna put, can you add an explanation of why
Not even the form that we do. Like it's cute. I was like, oh,
steps taken
it's long though.
to get the answer correct, something like that?
Do we have a do now?
Very good. So we're going to take exactly what it says in the question to create our sentence. The solution to the equation, see how it's the same thing? Okay, so go ahead and write that. The solution to the equation is, and we said W equals 8. Period. Make sure you have your period at the end and that you started with a capital T. If you did not start with a capital T and do not have a period, it is not a complete sentence. Okay, so as you can see, all we did was in that first blank, we took what our answer was and we just copied it. So it wasn't anything too difficult. The sentence, we got it from the question. We can all do that, right? You don't need too much English to be able to do that. Okay, the problem shows. I want you to tell me, what do you see in the problem? Just tell me what you see.
An equation.
An equation. What else do you see? What does that equation look like?
The problem shows variable on both sides.
There's a variable on both sides. Is it a different variable or the same? So it's a one variable equation. So we can say that. The problem shows a one variable equation, or we can say like what Mr. Leniega said, an equation with a variable on both sides, right? We can say an equation with parentheses on both sides. Just showing what the equation shows, what the problem shows. Okay, so then again we have our explain, but again we're restating our answer. This proves the solution is, so right here we need our answer again. What is our answer? W equals 8. So we're going to put W equals 8 again. So far, there's not really a lot that we have had to explain just now. So this proves the solution is W equals 8 because, and then you should recognize everything on there because that's been our sentence stem for the past 3 days. Okay, so we're using sequencing to describe how we how we solved our equation. So because to solve the equation, initiate by, what did we say initiate means? Beginning, right? So like the first thing we did, okay? So go ahead and fill in these blanks. If you forgot or you don't know, go back to your notebook from yesterday and the day before to guide you. I will help you a little bit. These are the type of words that you should be using. How do we say sumar in English? Add. What about restar? Subtract. Multiplicar. Multiply. And lastly, dividir. Divide. So you will be using some of these words, if not all, I'm not sure, in your sentence stem, right? So make sure there's those words. Some of you have a little bit more English, so I want you to be more specific. I don't want you to just tell me that you had to add first. I want you to tell me what you're adding and to what. Este es un ejemplo de STAR test. It says, which function is best represented by the graph of G? So me están pidiendo the equation for the line of G. Okay? So we're going to take this and we're going to use it for our answer. ¿Sí ven que copié lo mismo? The function that is best represented by the graph of G is, okay, you are going to pick an answer. Van a escoger una de las cuatro. Okay. Y la que escojan, you're going to put it right here. Okay? You got it? All right. The problem shows. Look at the problem. What does the problem give us? What do we see in the image? ¿Qué vemos en la imagen? We see a linear function. What else do we see? What happened to the line of G? It looks like it's less steep. So the problem shows a linear function that is less steep. Okay? This proves the answer is, otra vez van a poner aquí su respuesta, because, y ya me van a explicar por qué su respuesta representa less steep. Okay? Nos dan el parent function aquí, pero nosotros sabemos el parent function. What is the parent function? Y equals x, pero miren lo que usan, ellos no usan y, ¿qué usan ellos? So what am I going to put in decimals? F of x equals x, and then voy a poner estos para ver cuál me da la mía. Okay, so go ahead and put it in decimals, find your answer, and I want you to, me van a escribir las oraciones.